Three unqualified morons with microphones. This is the Previously Recorded podcast. All right, welcome to Previously Recorded. I am your host, RP, as always. And this special episode of Previously Recorded is brought to you by our Redbubble store. Check it out in the show notes. You can head over there. We have some exclusive merchandise, obviously, because it's ours, so it's exclusive. And it's the only place you can get Previously Recorded merch. So check it out. You can get a hat, you can get a sticker, you can get a magnet, you can get a little burger boy little thing too. It's all on there, and everything that you buy helps us and helps the show keep running. So yeah, go check that out. And then as always, if you need anything from Totally Tees, check them out as well. To help me with this special episode today is my wonderful wife, Audra. Welcome back to the podcast. It's your first time on in almost a year.
Too long.
Yeah, since your Universal episode.
Well, thank you for having me. Excited to be back.
How are you? What's new?
Not too much.
Since the last time you were on a year ago, what's new?
Well, I am now officially working from home indefinitely. So
Okay.
I am kind of losing my shit at home with our dog. And when you're not here, I have no one to talk to. So this is a nice chance for us to be able to have a little chit chat.
Yeah. Record it. It's content and quality time, I suppose.
Win-win.
Yeah, for sure. So, some news for people who are unaware. CinemaCon is just going on, which it happened back in August. I don't know why it's happening again so soon, but whatever. CinemaCon is when all kind of theater owners and people involved with theater media, like people from Fandango and news outlets, come and the studios present like their upcoming slate and share some news with theater chain owners and the likes of those people. With, I don't know why I said it like that. But yeah, so they go and they share some news. So some news from Sony yesterday was that Venom 3 is now officially in production, which
Wow.
I'm not really shocked
Still haven't
by.
seen Venom 2, to be honest.
You haven't seen the first Venom either.
Dang, you're right. I forgot.
You're not missing much, honestly. It had one of the largest openings of 2021.
Wow.
So it was a third one was.
It was going to happen.
Yeah, so it made sense. I don't care. It's going to be the same stuff, and he's back in his universe now from, what we saw in Spider-Man No Way Home. So cool. Sony also shared some really surprising news that an El Muerto, or Muerto, I don't know, I may be mispronouncing that, is a Latino superhero it's a Spider-Man supervillain, I think.
I didn't realize it was a Sony character.
Well, it's a Spider-Man character,
right.
so Sony gets to make the Marvel movie.
Gotcha.
This is the biggest head scratcher. This is even when Guardians of the Galaxy was announced, people were like, "What the heck?" But like, this is even more of a head scratcher. I'm pretty sure this character. I saw somebody tweet like this character showed up in like 2 comic books. I don't know how true that is, but somebody said that, and I'm kind of going with it because I have no idea who this character is. But they have cast Bad Bunny, the artist, to play this character, who I know none of their music.
You would know the one song with Cardi B. I like it like that.
Okay. Sure.
But to be honest, he is very much a Spanish artist. So all of his songs are in Spanish. And he was in that movie with J-Lo and...
Marry Me?
Yes, that was...
Was that him?
That was him.
The guy he was supposed to marry?
Yeah.
That was Bad Bunny?
Let me confirm.
That's bullshit. That's 100% inaccurate.
I think you're...
Wow. That's 100% inaccurate.
How could it not be?
Because it doesn't look like him.
Waiting... You're correct.
Yeah,
I know. It was Maluma.
Yeah. So, I don't know his acting skills. I don't know whatever, but Sony making another head-scratching decision. They have Miles Morales to play with, but...
Well, they already have 3 movies of him.
Well, they have a cartoon. They could use him, or they could use Andrew as their world's, Spider-Man, and then use the villains that way. I don't know why they're not. I don't know if Marvel doesn't want them to. I don't know. Morbius was not good, but carry on, I guess. So also some news with Miles Morales that they pushed those release dates back from October of this year to June for Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, which is now just called Across the Spider-Verse, and then they pushed Part 2 to 2024, which is called Beyond the Spider-Verse. So there's 140 characters in this movie. There was 40 in the last one.
Wow.
So you're probably going to see a lot of cool Spider-Man from different universe.
Cool.
And it's the largest crew assembled for an animated film, which I think is pretty awesome.
It?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is Jake Johnson coming back?
Is Jake Johnson back?
Jake Johnson.
I have no idea. I would assume so.
I hope so.
I have no idea. The only
and
person...
John Mulaney.
Yes,
Give
John
me
Mulaney.
Spider-Pig.
Yes, John Mulaney must be back. I don't know. The only person that I know for sure, obviously, other than Miles and Gwen that we saw in that little trailer, is Oscar Isaac, Spider-Man 2099. That's the only thing I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
I wish you had the inside scoop, host of PR, but all right.
Look, this ain't my full-time job. But they showed 15 minutes of the movie, and apparently it looks fantastic, which I'm not shocked about, but it's not like 15 minutes of unfinished animation. So curious of what that actually does look like. So that was the biggest news from Sony, but then they closed out their panel with a tease of Ghostbusters sequel to the reboot, which neither of us have seen. Host of Gateway Gamers, Brian Marvel, has seen it. He said he was underwhelmed. He's a big Ghostbusters fan, but it did well enough. And then the biggest news came today from Warner Brothers. They had the giant panel. They had like the largest panel. They showed footage from all of their stuff coming up, which part of that included The Flash, which includes Ezra Miller, who is also going to be in the movie that we're talking about today.
Canceled.
Yeah, for sure.
Done.
I don't know what they're going to do. That's the movie that you can recast him at the end because it's all multiverse stuff. But the big news from that was that the Batman 2 has been greenlit. Which is
fantastic.
No shocker there. And they also released the numbers that the Batman did the second highest week one HBO Max totals, but still brought in some money in theaters because it's still playing in theaters.
Wow.
Over the weekend. But yeah, I think that's really like the biggest stuff to report back. No word on Fantastic Beasts 4 because it's probably not going to happen. But one more piece of news that Terry Crews has joined the Guardians of the Galaxy.
What? Can't see my face right now, but I jaw drop.
But not Guardians 3.
Huh?
Guardians at Disney World. Apparently he plays a part in like the pre-show video at the Disney World ride, which is opening in under a month.
Well, now we have to go. We have to go see Terry Crews in the ride.
Very, very much like to.
That is the most random person I would have ever picked to be.
Yeah, I don't know if he's friends with
show.
like James Gunn or whatever, but
I don't see that.
They got what's her face back? Glenn Close.
Oh, Glenn Close! Wow.
Yeah, from the first Guardians movie.
Great.
So that kind of wraps up news. Just a couple of the key things this week. Also, for Fast and Furious fans, this happened today, actually a couple hours ago.
Breaking news.
But it is breaking news. Justin Lin, who directed Tokyo Drift all the way through to Furious 6, then came back for Fast 9 and was going to finish the series off, has stepped away from the 10th movie and essentially the 11th, because it's a two-parter, for creative differences, which, I mean, you're not a huge Fast and Furious fan, so I can't ask you for your opinion on it, but...
I've seen the most recent ones, and I must say...
You've seen the most recent one.
I've seen 7 and 8.
Okay, all right. You're missing all the good ones. It's just kind of surprising, because he did a lot of it, and I don't know what that big creative difference was that I guess him and Vin Diesel were not vibing, but... He was a huge part of the franchise for him to just kind of walk away. Why is it always got to be
Vin? Always Vin.
He's the head honcho in the Fast.
It's
his franchise.
He run?
It's his franchise. It's his franchise.
That's insane.
That's why Hobbs and Shaw's not getting a sequel. That's why The Rock left. Isn't? No, The Rock's out because Vin wanted too much control, and Vin's petty as fuck. So
petty bitch.
Yeah, the most overpaid Marvel Studios actor for saying 3 words of dialogue.
Literally. Wow, that's kind of crazy though. Some guy who obviously makes the movies so well and directs them really well.
Yeah.
To not be finishing out the rest of the franchises.
Yeah, he does a really good job. I mean, he's got a good touch for the drift, I suppose.
Oh my.
I don't know.
Did he make them go to space also? Was that him?
Yeah, that was him. It was his last movie. But anyway, that was kind of big news today, dropping for fans of the franchise. So, I think without further ado, today we are here to kind of discuss and review a spoiler-filled review of Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. almost forgot the title for a second. So this movie did not do great financially. It opened up to $44 million, I think, or $43 million, lowest in
That's
the
how much
Wizarding World
Twitter
franchise.
costs.
No, it doesn't. Twitter costs $44 billion.
Yes, you're right.
If Fantastic Beasts opened to that, that would be pretty astonishing.
Touche.
Because the highest grossing movies only grossed
I will
under
eat my
3.
words.
Yeah. So billion and million are very, very different, hon. So worldwide, it's sitting at 281, I think. So it's already recouped its primary budget, but they put a fuck ton of money into the marketing advertisement for this movie to get people back. Like, we were sitting in the theater seeing Sonic and everywhere, everything all at once.
Right.
And we saw the weirdest movie trailer in a theater. Like, this is a type of trailer, like I said on the last episode, that this is the type of trailer you see on Twitter or on maybe TV or just YouTube. But to see it in front of a movie is strange, because it was just saying, like, hey, remember when you guys loved this all these years ago? Remember the video games? Remember the community? Well, yeah, this is what this is again.
It felt like a sponsored ad. Like, it wasn't like I was watching a trailer for a cool movie. It was like hey, this is a straight up advertisement for Harry Potter.
Well, which, I mean, that's what a trailer is an advertisement.
Right, but like what more of like...
It was more of like, hey, remember when you liked all this stuff? Well, it's back, but it's not. Because
Kinda.
These movies are very, very different from Harry Potter. And off the cusp, I'll just say, I liked this one.
Better than 2?
It's better than Crimes of Good One. No, none of them.
But
have
a
been
good
as good
movie.
As one. It was good. So most fans have kind of been with us, where it's good, it's not great, and it's definitely better than the last one. It's sitting at 47% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is higher than the previous one, and the audience score is higher than the previous one as well. So I guess we'll kind of just get into our thoughts of the movie. So we're not going to fully cover the plot. That's not what we're here to do, but we're going to kind of walk it through and talk about what we liked. So this movie opens up according to...
Actually, this movie opened up with us having a seizure.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that.
Our theater actually had a fuck up, and there was this bright orange flashing light for a good 2 minutes of the intro. And we thought it was part of the movie.
It was longer. Like, the movie started, and it kind of looked like there was some fireworks going off in the background. So the screen was like flashing orange, and I'm like, there's no way that is right. And then after like the Wizarding World logo showed up, I was like, okay, this is definitely wrong. And then it cut to like the first scene, and everybody's like, okay, this isn't right. And so the projector just shuts off.
My first thought was, we're going to have to go see a different movie.
Yeah, we're going to have to go.
I was worried.
We're going to have to go somewhere else. It's a long movie. We didn't want to go try and figure all that out. And then it gave me such a headache for like a long time afterwards too. But yeah, so not a great way to start the movie off for sure.
A bad omen, some might say, but
yeah, I guess it was the warning to get out of there.
Yeah.
So this movie starts in 1932. The last one picked up, I think, in 1927. So it's been a couple years. So this one starts off kind of. Which I actually don't really remember how it starts off. It starts off with like a train and something with Grindelwald.
I really can't.
I can't remember.
The first
all
scene
I remember
think
is
of
with
is
the creature, where like there's like this weird deer creature that is giving birth, and this is a huge plot of the movie, is this creature thing.
That's how it starts. Yes.
So, and it's like action adventure, and I actually enjoyed the way that part opened up. There's definitely like one scene beforehand that I can't remember that. It opens up with Dumbledore and Grindelwald in a diner.
Oh,
and
yes.
There's 6 seconds of dialogue that needed to be cut for China. But
really?
of Dumbledore saying he loved Grindelwald.
Oh, jeez. China, come on.
Yeah, I know. And there's issues with Doctor Strange 2. There's a lesbian character or LGBTQ character. I'm not sure what her sexual orientation is. American Chavez comes from an LGBTQ background she has, and whatever. That's a different movie.
So they're in the diner. They're chit-chatting and basically talking about how they have this bond.
And Grindelwald is
packed.
And Dumbledore saying, "I love you, and I don't want to move against you." And Grindelwald saying, "Why would you?"
Look at these people.
Yeah,
Muggles. Who cares?
It's a new Grindelwald. It's no longer Johnny Depp. It's Mads Mikkelsen, and they don't address it at all, and it's kind of confusing.
I don't mind it, actually.
Because the part of this movie is if you're sitting down and watching this movie, you don't pay attention to the outside world. You're like, why does he look so drastically fucking different?
Yeah.
Like, drastically different.
But I like how he doesn't look pale and crazy eyes. He looks more normal in this.
To me, like, better. Johnny Depp's version, which I like Johnny Depp, I don't like the style they picked.
Yeah.
What Johnny picked for the character. Because to me, that's not Grindel. Like, he wanted to make him kind of look like deranged and two sides to him, I guess, with the two different eyeballs. I don't really know. Or that he could see something, whatever. But to me, Grindelwald is a very suave, classic British look.
Yes.
But he has this look that it just doesn't fit the character or, quite honestly, the Wizarding world. Like, it just doesn't. I don't know if he was trying to make him
so far out than
like
Dumbledore maybe was.
Yeah. Know? And like kind of like so far from Dumbledore, or like kind of how Voldemort was so drastically different looking.
Right.
I don't know. But I prefer the Mads Mikkelsen look. It was just very, like, shocking for me. As someone who's just watched the last two, and there's a very particular Grindelwald performance, and then you get this, and there's no mention of him looking different.
How would they
could have been,
it?
Like, new form, or, like, made, or new polyjuice, but, like, they could have made some, like, cheeky comment. But I guess for the best is to just not say anything at all. I mean, that's how I honestly want it handled. Like in Iron Man 2, when Rhodey is replaced by Don Cheadle, he just walks in. His first scene is him walking into a courtroom, and he's like, "It's me, get over it, I'm here." Like, it's supposed to be him entering the courtroom, but it's also like a wink to the camera, being like, "It's me, I'm here, let's just get over it." Something like that, it should be like...
And they could have used any... I mean, there's literally spells.
It's the freaking Wizarding world.
Anything.
He could have done anything. Oh, I need to change my appearance because I'm on the run. And then he's like, oh, I've actually kind of liked this appearance now. Yeah. What they should have done...
The real me, and I have been fake this whole time.
What they should have done is just brought Colin Farrell back. And had him been like, I've gone back to Percival Graves look.
I actually never even thought about that. That's a brilliant idea. And he would have been fantastic for that
role, too. And they just made him, like, slightly different and been like, this is...
He was too busy doing Batman.
I guess so, which he's great in that. So the movie starts off, and they need to get this creature, and it gives birth. And then Credence and Grindelwald's gang shows up and takes the animal. But then, plot twist, another one's given birth. So this animal...
It was twins!
Yes, it was twins. This animal can see into somebody's soul and see if they're a good person or not.
If they're pure or not.
Which this all plays out in a long, slow burn of a finale. This movie is a very much... It's a slow burn political thriller that this is a much better movie than the last. Not much better, but it's a better, more concise movie, but it's very drastically different than the last one. Mm-hmm. But this isn't what you needed to get people back to the theater to come see these movies. You needed an action-filled movie, and it severely lacks action.
Because I feel like in almost every Harry Potter movie, you have that action scene. You have that big sequence of either the wand fighting or just Harry fighting someone. And here it just felt like they were just like politics and pure and good. And I'm like, I'm all for, like, it's a cool concept that this animal can do something like this.
Yeah, but you have no idea about that until that's why I was confused
with that for the entire movie up until literally they had to say word for word, oh, this animal does this. I was like, oh.
So like they give the animal to Grindelwald, and he slits its throat, and he sees like the future in the blood because Grindelwald. But I forgot that Grindelwald can see the future. So it had nothing to do with the blood. It was more so just kind of symbolic. But the movie it's a political thriller of the wizarding community's world, which I might have missed something, but it's Grindelwald's running for election of like the wizarding community.
It wasn't explained well, to be honest.
So he gets let off on all of his charges too, on just like some weird dinner thing. Like, there's some aspects of this movie that don't make any sense. Like, there's a whole trial for Harry in Order of the Phoenix over a Dementor, where this is just like people at a dinner or at a rally kind of, and they're just like, we find him not guilty, which it was like the German Ministry of Magic. I don't know. I didn't really care. I got what they were trying to say, that Grindelwald was now free and Dumbledore still couldn't attack him, but he tried to get Newt to tell the German Ministry of Magic to do the right thing.
Right.
And that doing the right thing isn't as easy as doing the easy thing, or blah, 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 basically. Telling him, don't let him off, hold him accountable.
And so not only Newt was sent to do that, so we had some new characters actually in this group of people that came along. And so I was very pleasantly surprised with these different people in this new grouping. So for one, I totally forgot about what happened in the second movie. So I forgot about his helper, Bunty. Then there also was that Yusuf character who I leaned over, I was like, who was that?
Lita's half-brother.
And then Theseus
Scamander, who was a kind of a vital part of the last movie, which you didn't finish rewatching, nor did you listen to my recap on my last episode.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I
because
did.
You didn't know half the shit. You leaned over in the movie and said, what happened in the last one
It doesn't
again?
matter. Point is, but then we had also
I recapped those movies as best as I could.
a new character, Eulalie Hicks.
So she was...
Hey, how you doing there, mister?
That's horrible.
That was so bad.
Oh, my God.
Think of
All right,
1920s.
thank you for listening. No, so she was in the second movie for like a brief second with Flamel, but she talked like this: "How you doing? You see, I'm a gentleman." Or,
There you go.
Or she would say like, "I'm a lady, and I don't need your help, gentleman." The whole fucking movie, that's how she talked.
And it just
she
seems
was
so out of place.
You see, Jacob, how don't you help? And we need your help. You know, I'm a witch, right?
Yeah.
And the whole fucking movie, and it's like, why? Nobody else speaks like this.
It ebbed and flowed a bit. I was like, sometimes she sounded southern, other times she's down here.
Very glad she didn't have much dialogue, because I would have blown my brains out, because it was so.
But she was vital.
Annoying.
She was in the whole movie.
She was in the whole movie because she was essentially replacing Tina's character, who is in this movie for about a minute
5
and a half.
seconds that I was upset by.
Yeah.
'Cause I adore Tina. I think she brings a really fun character.
I
to the
like
movie.
her and Newt's awkward chemistry. I enjoy it very much when we get it in the last movie. So she was outspoken about J.K. Rowling's beliefs, and so there's kind of a belief that she didn't want to be part of the project, and also was kind of written out. I'm not sure. But she was at the premieres of the movies, so...
And she was still in it.
Yeah, so Grindelwald set free, and then we now get to learn... So Grindelwald does his political bullshit, and again, this isn't a deep dive on the movie, it's kind of just a review. But to help kind of explain some aspects, it helps to talk through some of the movie. So then we get Credence, who I fucking hate Ezra Miller's character in this movie. I don't care for him in the series.
Long hair.
Who cares about his hair?
It added a whole different element to it.
His hair is awful in every movie.
It is.
Where he's supposed to look like more dark and brooding, and so he's
Depressed.
Grindelwald's henchman, and he ends too being like so powerful and angry, when now he just seems like something's wrong with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that he is, because the Phoenix came to him in need because he's dying from the obscurest power in him.
Mm-hmm.
And we do find out his heritage, which, again, spoiler alert, he is a Dumbledore, but he is not Albus's brother or son. He's Albus's nephew. He's Aberforth's son, who is played... in this movie, Richard Coyle, who is fantastic as
very good
as Aberforth. If you've seen Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, he's kind of like spot on. So,
it wasn't the same guy.
No, the other guy's like much older.
Oh, that makes sense because it was right.
Oh my god,
prequel, got it.
Yeah. So we find out that he is the son of Aberforth, and that him and Credence have actually been communicating through a mirror.
Yeah,
which is kind of a call forward at this point to Aberforth communicating with Harry through the mirror.
Right.
But it's like, does he know that who he's talking to? Because he still doesn't know his heritage at this point. Like, he doesn't know that he's Aberforth. So that kind of doesn't really make sense. He's just talking to somebody through fog, writing on a mirror. So there's a lot of this movie that, when I kind of think about it, doesn't make that much sense. But it was a better movie. The action scenes, when they did have them, were cool. There was new elements to the Wizarding World, that they were in like an alternate reality where Dumbledore was fully in control when he fights Credence.
Yes.
who is just kind of chaos magic, somewhat using his wand and stuff like that. So,
And there were some new creatures that we saw.
yes, which I
I
thoroughly
always love the
enjoyed.
new creatures. RP was thoroughly, genuinely laughing at a specific part when Newt's brother, Theseus, gets basically caught by God knows what. And to
Well,
get him,
he gets captured by the German
by
Ministry
the
of
Ministry of
Magic,
Magic,
who
yeah.
are working for Grindelwald.
right. So to get Theseus out, you have to basically enchant and kind of mimic these crabs, I would call them, these crab-like creatures. And the walk that Newton has to do is so...
Just call him Newton.
I meant...
That's his full name.
No,
Wait,
really?
yeah,
Newton. That makes sense.
If you listen to the last episode, I said that.
Oh, God. New has to do this crazy dance, and it was so comical. It was so funny.
So they have to do they're called manticores. They're little like crab looking like scorpion things. So they're protecting this area where there's a giant other one. So this is them again forcing creatures in the movie because Pickett and the Niffler are key in this scene as well. But they have to like walk and mimic the crab, and I just fucking found it hilarious. Like I was laughing at them, but also if you look at the creatures in the shot, in the scene, like the way that they're dancing, it just made me laugh. So
If you want to go see it, Eddie Redmayne does it on Jimmy Fallon.
yeah, he did
with
it like
him.
all over.
all the like stuff.
Yeah, so I'm laughing, not hysterically, but I'm like chuckling a lot.
Chuckling good.
Then, so we saw it with former, friend of the show, not former, but former guest
He's
of the show.
no longer our friend.
Yeah, former guest of the show, Shanks, and then
Bob.
co-host Bob and my dad. We went and saw it, so I would laugh, and then Shanks was laughing at me laughing, and then Bob was laughing at Shanks for laughing at me for laughing. I thoroughly enjoyed that part. It caught me off guard.
And it went on for a while. They did that
did
dance for a while.
And I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
It was probably the highlight of the movie for me. But it's in the middle, and there's like a lot of things that's just going on where everything is just a slow burn. This entire movie is just a slow burn.
Yep.
And you're like, okay, like even I enjoy being in the Wizarding World, and there's some cool moments, and I don't know.
Well, and honestly, one of my favorite characters also, Queenie, is obviously she's evil, kind of this whole movie.
Yeah.
So she didn't really bring that fun, upbeat energy.
No,
'cause
she's
she was
just super fucking depressed the entire time.
because she's like stuck under Grindelwald's kind of.
She's not. No, she realized she made a mistake, but she can't leave Grindelwald.
Yeah.
Which like the last one she went in with like certainty, and then again it's like a lot happens. Again, according to Wikipedia, it's been like 5 years, but it really feels like it's only been like a couple months, maybe.
What? Yeah.
That's what it said. I mean, the last one ended in 1927. It started in 1927. This one says 1932.
Wow.
So I don't know.
Jacob has a wand.
Jacob has a wand,
that's
but the
pretty
thing
cool.
is, he doesn't use it. It's just a prop. And so I thought from the trailers that was them giving the first Muggle a wand.
That's what I was thinking
and
too.
like he even asked Dumbledore, like, "Can I keep this just for old time's sake?" And he said, "Sure." I was expecting him to like Dumbledore to be like, "Well, did you use it?
Yeah.
Or you should learn how to use it or something." And no, so it's pointless.
Because the one scene that he was going to use it was when he was in the tea party and
Yes.
ended up and like trying
Which
to
I like
attack.
that scene.
Yeah, no, actually, with the whole book pages, that was really cool. He was able to like how.
And it plays into the plot.
Yes.
The book pages, which was the 1920s girl.
Eulalie. That was
Eulalie, that's it. Eulalie. So that was kind of her gimmick. She could
Lolly
do a lot with
is
a
what
book.
she's what she's
Lolly,
called.
yeah,
Lolly.
she could do a lot of stuff with a book and pages.
That was her gift from Dumbledore, which I guess
Yes.
I was telling RP. It's very much a callback kind of thing. Dumbledore likes, I think, to give gifts to his people that they can use in his quests that he sends
Yes.
them on. So it's a very big thing for him.
No,
So they
I
all
mean,
got different
yeah,
things.
Not always. I mean, he gives people some stuff, but like you don't see him give her that book. She just says it.
No, it's given. Bunty says, "Hey, I have all of these things from Dumbledore when they're on the train headed to the quest. Everyone literally gets one thing. Remember that?
Okay. Forgetful. We saw this movie 3 weeks ago.
Also, so much happened in such a long
And
time.
I haven't even watched a recap of it. We're kind
Exactly.
of just talking off our heads about it. So Credence finds out he's not related to Albus in the way that he thinks and that Grindelwald lied to him. And it's the most lackluster thing. It's like halfway through the movie, Dumbledore's just like, "You are not my brother. You do have my blood though." And then It's just in passing. He's
Oh,
talking
because
with
they were fighting
Aberforth.
in that
Yes.
street. I forgot which scene that was.
And then he kind of leaves them. And then, like, a couple scenes later, it's just, like, in passing, Dumbledore's like to Aberforth, you should have told me. And it's like, okay, well, the year that Dumbledore fell in love with Grindelwald, the same summer Aberforth fell in love with a girl, and there had been a rumor of a child. It's like, whatever. It just feels like such a useless plot point. Like, it just, like, she fucked up. Like, this is a dumb thing. And Credence is useless in this movie.
He is literally, there's no point to having him
and that
as an obscurus.
But he's dead. So Credence, they kind of allude to, is dying. And so all you need to know is that they have this big diversion at the end of the movie to get the second Quinlan, whatever the fucking creature's called.
Oh.
A Killin. It's Quilin.
Killin.
Yeah.
Yes.
To the end, because this is all part of the political process that they say, let the people vote for Grindelwald, because if you silence them, they'll just be outraged or whatever. So sure, they go like, okay, sure. And then like another hour happens, and now we're at the end, and so now the opening scene is brought back and is used in the plot where, so the one that Credence captured was killed, and then they did some spell and brought him back to life, and it wasn't really the real true
It wasn't
killing.
real.
It was just bewitched to essentially bow to Grindelwald and show that he was worthy in his true soul.
Yeah.
And then obviously Newt and all of them prove that they have the real one, and he bows to this other lady who becomes the president of the wizarding people. I have no idea what this role is. It's not for the Ministry of Magic. They should have just made it that.
It lists us for the wizarding world, I think is what they say. The world of wizard is what this lady
because like
is.
it would have made sense if they went to and it bowed to, because it bowed to Dumbledore, and Dumbledore was like no.
Nah, yeah.
Which they said in the past that is, he turned down the Minister of Magic role, which unless that is what is happening, and I missed that because it doesn't say anything about the British Ministry of Magic.
They never once mentioned the minister. I'm telling you.
All right, so I looked it up. So it says that the charges were dropped by the International Confederation of Wizards, and then subsequently he runs for the office of Supreme Mugwump, which I have no idea what the fuck that is. But they don't
never said in the movie.
I swear, if they say that, it's mentioned once, and you have no idea. I mean, for all people probably assume he's like getting voted in as Minister of Magic, because like that's how it seems. They don't really talk about it. They don't talk about the process.
Maybe this is what it is. Now and they
no, because they still have the Minister of Magic.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck this is. So, spoiler alert, they get to the end, and the fucking thing bows to the right person, and they prove that Grindelwald's gone. And this is the most wish-washy group of wizards ever. They're like, yeah, Grindelwald. And then they're like, oh, whatever this lady's name is, like immediately. Like I was like, this is the most like freaking wish-washy group of wizards ever.
They turned immediately.
Like it was so dumb.
Yeah.
And that's my problem with this movie, that there's a lot of little moments that are so fucking dumb, that make me angry, because these movies should be better. Like it was, you wanted to bring people back to the theater. You wanted to bring them back to the Wizarding World, to the magic. This movie lacks magic. It's a long, boring, like it's a good movie. It's a good Wizarding World movie. I don't know about Wizarding World movie, but it's a good movie. It's a slow political thriller. It's a slow burn. It was not what I was expecting at all.
I will say at the end they did have the wand battle where the two wands are going, which was cool, but and it kind of showed
just the two wands are going.
Just the two wands, with the red and the green.
Grindelwald attacks
and Dumbledore.
Somebody attacks a Dumbledore, and Dumbledore defends it. And
yes.
He doesn't attack Dumbledore, but he attacks Credence. Which then breaks the blood pact, and they can fight each other. And and the fight scenes were cool when they had them. They were cool. Just once again, like Newt just felt like so pointless in this movie.
He was not needed in this movie,
and that's the problem with these movies.
And this movie, I feel like the first one was so good about Newt and with the creatures.
It was fun.
He was bringing a fun aspect of, we didn't see really creatures in Harry Potter that was brought in this new world, and then it was kind of like, how about we focus on Dumbledore? Which I'm like, cool, sprinkle him in, but like,
No,
it's not about him.
They should have either done just a straight up Fantastic Beasts movie,
exactly,
or they should have done a Dumbledore movie.
Exactly.
I love his Dumbledore. I know I saw like IGN or somebody bashed his Dumbledore, and I'm like, he's fucking fantastic as Dumbledore.
He's so good.
And
I think he carries himself really well as
I think he's awesome.
Yeah,
and I think Newt is awesome in this movie, but he's not used.
Nope.
Like I think that Eddie Redmayne is fucked over the most because he's like, hey, you're going to headline this Harry Potter franchise. And he's like, oh, great. This is awesome. And he does a fantastic job in this quirky character.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not his fault, but like this movie is this is not a great franchise. It's a potential to be a good franchise, especially with the first movie. The first movie I really like, and I stand by that movie. I say all the time how much I like the first one. I don't like the second one. The second one ruined the franchise.
They focus too much on the credence aspect of things and just blew things up.
Well, it's not even that. The second one, they try and do all these twists and turns and be like, who's related to who, and this, and Nagini, and let's do... Nagini's not even in this fucking movie.
Yeah,
she was
where'd
at the
she
end
go?
That was one of the ones where like, oh, fuck, we fucked that. We fucked that up. Like, they just made... J.K. made so many mistakes with the second one that Steve Kloves came in and Warner Brothers, they postponed the movie a full year to work on it. But, like, this isn't the movie. This shouldn't have been the movie. Like, it shouldn't have been a slow political thriller. Like, I have patience and I, like, can see when a plot's building, but somebody, like, a family they're not going to like it.
It was 2.5 hours?
Yeah, they're not going to like it. It's not Harry Potter where there's, like,
I can't see my mom going in who likes Harry Potter and liking this.
I don't either. I don't see your sister liking it either.
No.
Who's a big Harry Potter fan.
Right. Because it's not a Harry Potter movie. And they were advertising it, it's Harry Potter again.
That's just to get people
That's what I'm saying,
back,
though. But, like, that's
they're
sad.
doing their job to get people to the theater, which it didn't really work.
Nope.
It did well internationally, but this movie just lacks that. This franchise, the first one does not. The first one has the magic. It has the lore. It has everything that made Harry Potter great. 2 and 3 didn't, and they got so much darker. And this isn't a dark French. You're following a bunch of animals, and then I hate that it's just forced. The animals are just forced in there. Like, they should have just done their own thing, done a Dumbledore spin-off show, whatever. I don't know what they're going to do going forward.
Do you think all the J.K. Rowling drama played a part in any of
Well,
this?
this is also like the most troubled franchise. Yeah,
That's
the
what I'm
Johnny Depp
saying.
stuff, which if you're paying attention to the news, whether how this comes out or not, Johnny Depp was telling the truth, and I don't know all the facts, but from everything that I'm seeing, it seems like Amber Heard might have been verbally abused, but it seems like she really did stuff to Johnny Depp, and that's the way that, everything I've seen on social media and from, the internet and news outlets, and even Entertainment Weekly has just been showing everything. Like, Amber Heard even said, like, people aren't going to believe you. Whatnot. It seems like I liked him. I just didn't like his take on Grindelwald, like, stylistically, but his acting in the movie and the way he portrayed the character, I enjoyed. I thought it was fine. Not
I think
great.
It was just like it was just one tick after the next that this franchise was getting like knocked.
And then Ezra Miller of it all,
and J.K. Rowling,
mainly the J.K. Rowling,
mainly
of it
that.
all.
But I just feel like it's the first movie came out so well, like great and good, and then just fell after that.
Yeah, I think that affected it. But this isn't a movie that if I have a 11-year-old or younger who likes Harry Potter, I'm not going to, like, obviously I'm going to take them because I don't know, but, like, after seeing this, like, a kid would hate this fucking movie.
Yeah, a kid wouldn't understand the movie.
Yes, because there's a lot of just, like...
It's political.
There's a lot of...
There's an election going on that just, I feel like, is so irrelevant to what's happening.
They should have done so much better because J.K. Rowling is creative. Look at the world she created. I just can't see. I guess they had to set him up as a leader.
And the guy who helped write this who wrote the other Harry Potters, right? You said or wrote one of them.
He wrote the movies. He helped write the movies, except for Goblet of Fire.
Yeah,
like he did the screenplays, and like even like this setting him up. Like I guess this is a way to just confirm his followers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like they could have just done it. They could have done like a Voldemort type of way, but I guess that's not the type of person that Grindelwald was. Sure, he would kill people or whatever, but
so you think there won't be a fourth one?
I do not think there will be a fourth. I think they purposely if you see this movie, they wrap this movie up like it's the end of a trilogy. Like there could be another movie, but they wrap everything up nicely that if this is the last one, and I think Warner Brothers told them that, because Warner Brothers told all of us that they have to wait to see how it does financially, what happens. I think it's possible that we'll get a follow-up on... We might get a fourth movie with a lower budget because we need to see the battle between the two of them. Like, if not, okay, great. Then I know in my brain...
Between
Grindelwald
who?
and Dumbledore and Grindelwald.
Okay.
Like, that's what this whole series has been about, not about the cool beast at all. That we're going to get a continuation of that story in some way, I think. Whether it might be it's an HBO series, like just one short series, and it's just the fight between them two, or a book, maybe, where she finishes off what she wants to say, because people will buy it, I'll read it.
Right.
Even though I didn't love these, but I love the Wizarding World, and it's a shame, because... I want more, and the box office isn't going to show. Not more Fantastic Beasts, just more Wizarding World stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, always. You always want more from this amazing...
So what did you think of the movie in your closing final thoughts?
Yeah. I think, like I said, it was good. I think it was half hour too long. I am obsessed with the Niffler and Pickett. They really were used actually a lot in this movie, so I thought they were a perfect little addition to all of Newt's little adventures that he had to go on and everything. So all in all, good movie. I was still confused at certain parts, which is why I had to ask questions.
Yeah.
And I still kind of walked out with what really happened to every single character? And I wish...
Well, I knew. That was kind of easy to follow, I think, but...
I guess.
It was a happy ending for everybody. That's literally the ending.
I guess you're right.
That's literally the ending.
So my closing out, I hope there is a fourth one because I would love to see more of Newt and Tina.
Yeah, because there's literally a line from Newt at the end where he goes up to Dumbledore and he's like, if you do it again...
Yeah.
Count me in, which is basically like, as Bob said to us, he's like... Newt was basically like to the audience, well, if you want another one,
let me know.
We're on board.
Yeah. So again, good movie. Again, like I said in the very beginning, better than the second, not as good as the first.
It's way better than the second one. It's not as good as the first. I gave this movie, I think, a 6.7.
That's
or
high.
6.3. I forget what because Shanks texted me after. He's like, "What'd you think?" And I was like a 6.3. I think out of 10 for this movie.
I think I'd give it a 5.9, 5.8 even.
I think it's just a slow. I don't mind slow burns. But from a Wizarding World movie and a movie where you want to get people back and invested, this wasn't the route to go because they're advertising fun, and they should have just embraced the fun. And they didn't. Like, they just didn't. They didn't. They did the best that they could to salvage the fuck up of the last movie. But it's just... Some people said this was the best one of the series. I disagree. I love the first one. But like I said, they did wrap it up nicely so that way, at least if this is the last one, from a trilogy narrative standpoint, they did tell a story. They told a conclusive story.
Right.
Where you see what happens with Credence. Like, you get Credence's arc is wrapped. Everybody's arc is kind of wrapped except for Dumbledore's, which I think they left it open. Like, if the movie's over, okay, well then after here he's going to battle Grindelwald again. But that's in your brain, and you can figure out how, because you know how it ends.
Yeah.
But they cleaned up the stuff that they needed to. 6.3 out of 10. I have no desire. I like to see movies twice. I have no desire to go to the theaters and see this again. I'll watch it probably when it's on HBO.
I would say the same thing. When it's out for free, I will watch it again. I wouldn't pay for it again.
Yeah, and like I like to, with the franchises I like to buy the movies kind of as soon as they come out.
Will you?
Probably not.
Did you buy the second one?
Yeah, I bought the second one, like a collector's edition of it. Even though I didn't like it, the collector's edition was cool. And just from my display case purposes. But probably not. I'll probably just wait till it goes on sale. Yeah. Because I'm not in a need to watch it again. Yeah. So that was kind of us walking through the plot and reviewing it. Yeah. So
we were all over the place because the movie was kind of all over the place.
I actually disagree. The second one was. This one was more concise. But yeah, and we just had some fun to talk about the movie.
And I don't know if you mentioned this at all. We got even more Harry Potter stuff because we went to the Franklin Institute Harry Potter exhibit they had recently.
Did you like it?
I was kind of disappointed by it, but I mean, it was cool to see the actual. They always bring in the real costumes from the actual movies, which are always really cool to see. It was much more of an interactive kind of thing, and I think we wanted to maybe see more of the behind the scenes stuff.
I wanted more props. I love the
Yeah.
Marvel exhibit was fantastic.
It was amazing.
The outfits that go in Harry Potter are incredibly well made. They are,
With the cloaks and the
well, it's not
capes
even
and the robes.
There was like no cloaks on display.
But
Like there was a lot of robes and stuff like that. There was a few cloaks, and one of the things they had the invisibility cloak on display, which is funny. It was just an empty shelf.
There was nothing.
So there were some really cool parts to that.
Yeah.
It's cool if you're a Harry Potter fan and you live in Philadelphia, go check it out.
I mean, like you got to pick your like house, your Patronus, all that cool stuff. So it was cool. I feel like we've been very Harry Pottered recently.
Yeah, so
which has been awesome.
I mean, that was the weekend before too, so I was like amped up.
Yeah.
And it just. You would think my expectations were not super high for it, but like I was excited going in, and I was very meh walking out. I was like, it was good. I enjoyed it. There's a lot of silly stuff in it, but better use of beasts. I'll say that.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you to Audra for joining me for this special episode of Previously Recorded.
Hope I did it justice.
I'm sure you did fine, just like Bob and Shane always do. They do fine.
Sure.
Just kidding. You did great. They always do great. And it was fun talking with you. So remember to rate, like, and subscribe. So I don't know when we'll be back. Gateway Gamers is taking the month of May off to prepare for the summer. And it's just, we're busy. Me and Audra are busy. The boys are busy. So I'm not sure. We may get a mini episode out in May. We may get one episode. We may get none. But just as a heads up, in case there's no episodes in May, that's why. So, for all of us here previously recorded, thanks for listening, and have a good one. Say bye.
Bye.